Greetings folks, Iolair here. Yes, I continue to work on new cinematic scenes for my videos, and I certainly hope you've enjoyed the new content and the music that has accompanied them. That was a match I had in my Prince Eugen, where ironically I got into a close quarters brawl with a Bismarck, and maybe doubly ironically, I sank that Bismarck using my secondaries. In 0.8.6, the upper tier German cruiser starting at tier 8, their secondaries received the 1/4 penetration buff. So for that match, it seemed like I benefited from that change. For this match, we have Lyn Wilkie in the tier 10 Soviet gunboat destroyer Khabarovsk. And some of you may be scratching your head saying, gee, didn't we see this game before? And the answer is yes, you did. So in my previous video on the Karma system in World of Warships, I featured this match from my perspective in the tier 10 German battleship, the Großer Kurfürst, and Lyn and I were divisioned with Darwin Glacier in the tier 10 U.S. Navy light cruiser, the USS Worcester. But for this replay, I wanted to feature Lyn's perspective because while Lyn doesn't do quite as much damage as I did, he ends up higher in the leaderboard at the end of the game. In fact, even Lyn isn't going to be at the top of the leaderboard, excuse me. It will be our allied Kiev, which you can see at the south end of the Charlie cap. So this is going to be a good demonstration, or this match is going to be a good demonstration of a couple of things. One is that damage isn't everything. Earning XP is also heavily influenced by what you do, like taking caps and defending caps, and also doing damage to upper tier ships. And those aspects are going to influence both Lyn's results as well as our allied Kiev's. So Lyn has moved into the Bravo cap here, where there's, and this is a domination match on Tears of the Desert. There's a fair amount of central island cover here for some ships like the Khabarovsk that have very poor concealment. And Lyn has a surprise encounter with the opposing Shimakaze. Shimakaze sends all sets of his torps, and Lyn spotted these right away. So that tells us that this Shimakaze is using the 20-kilometer torps because they are detected from well beyond 2 kilometers. Lyn's torps, however, are only 6 kilometers, but they are detected by only 0.6 kilometers away, and he is going to get the Shimakaze, claiming first blood, getting a devastating strike, and taking out one of the 2 opposing destroyers. So another aspect of this game that's going to be kind of interesting from Lyn's perspective is that the Khabarovsk, along with the Kiev, both have the reputation of basically being very poorly concealed, destroyers. In fact, they basically play as very fast light cruisers, and they're not really traditionally the capping type of destroyers. But in this case, both the Kiev and Lyn have capped, although the opposing team is now starting to take Charlie back from us. Lyn has now just solo capped Bravo. And so again, the Kiev and Lyn here in the Khabarovsk, despite being sort of not very non-traditional destroyers, are going to do a remarkably good job in performing destroyer-like duties in terms of taking caps, and that will not be the only cap that Lyn will end up taking in this match. So Lyn has, after taking Bravo, is moving more towards the north here to get some eyes on what might be coming. So our team is going to have a little bit of a challenge. The opposing team has pretty clearly evenly split between the Alpha and Charlie caps. And that strategy can work if at least one of those 2 flanks for the opposing team, they can successfully push through, because our team is concentrated mostly in the center. We do have a few ships that are in the very southern edge of the map, but by and large, the majority of our firepower is centered in the middle of the map. And if the opposing team were in a position that they could actually push through either Alpha or Charlie or both, they would put our team in a very clear pincer and put a lot of pressure on us. This is why early in the match where we had frankly too much firepower in the south end of the map. Myself in the Kurfürst, I moved farther north. So I had turned around away from Charlie because we had more than enough representation at that cap to at least try to defend and at least keep the opposing team from trying to push through, if at all possible. And my concern was to provide some heavy firepower in the Kurfürst against the north part of the opposing team, which basically is essentially unopposed at Alpha. So Lyn is putting fire here on the Azuma, or no, it was a Yoshino, and then I take that kill from him. So that is going to be the first of, I think, 3 kills that Lyn almost gets, but I take from him on my way to a Kraken. So I kind of owe Lyn a beer for letting me have some of these kills. One was, again, the Yoshino, and I think, in fact, the second one is going to be this Cleveland here that Lyn is working on right now. So fortunately, our allied Bismarck, in addition to Lyn and myself, have moved farther north to try to help provide some flank defense. While right now we can't take Alpha, we can at least prevent the opposing team from pushing through Alpha and attempting to execute a pincer. You'll notice that in the south, the opposing team has actually, like I said, has taken Charlie from us. They're also making a pretty good push through that cap. There you can see I've just taken out, and myself in the Kurfürst is just taking out the Cleveland, taking that second kill from Lyn. But the opposing team, again, not only has taken Charlie, they're actually putting some pretty strong pressure on the ships that are south of Bravo. So if the opposing team is able to push through Charlie, again, they could put us into a bad crossfire situation in the middle of the map. Now, Lyn is going to make a torpedo run on the opposing Musashi here, which is actually currently backing up. Our allied team just took down one of the opposing ships, which was over at Charlie, which was the Buffalo. That definitely helped, although now we've just lost our Mogami, so that didn't help. Lyn sent here, I think he was expecting to get at least one more destroyer, one more torpedo than he actually did on the Musashi. But the Musashi also has an exceptionally good torpedo belt, like her sister ship in the Yamato. But you can see shells from my secondaries in the Kurfürst, as well as some main battery shells going in on this Musashi while he's trying to heal. And Lyn's putting fire into the superstructure. Although my secondaries get a fire on the Musashi, and I end up getting the Musashi. So now, or I'm just about to, and there goes the Musashi. So that was the third of 3 kills that Lyn was so generous in allowing me to have on my way to my Kraken. So Lyn is in a little bit of a precarious situation because he's sort of in very confined quarters for a Khabarovsk. He's got a secondary build ship, the Georgia, that he's quite close to. And he also has the Montana, which is to his north. So Lyn has to be a little bit careful here. I think at this point the Montana was still targeting Lyn. Oh, no, he's not anymore. I think the Montana has now turned his attention to me in the Kurfürst. Lyn is sort of transferring here between the Georgia and the Montana. So, trying to get a fire on actually preferably both of the battleships. But since these battleships, their attention are turned away from Lyn, Lyn is going to be able to move into the Alpha cap and start contesting that as well. Our team has a fairly good lead of about 100 points, but we only have 1 cap at this point. So the opposing team is gaining a little bit in terms of points due to the fact that they have 2 caps. And there I finish off my 4th ship in the Kurfürst, again on my way to the Kraken. And as a consolation, I'm going to end up slipping out of this cap as I get into an engagement with the opposing Alaska, and that will allow Lyn to get the 2nd solo cap for this match. And again, this goes back to kind of the theme, which is damage isn't everything. Although Lyn does get a pretty significant amount of damage out of this battle, it isn't going to the primary reason I think that he got second on the leaderboard at the end of the game. So Lyn is helping me out here with some gunfire on the Alaska, but the Alaska is going to end up losing in this drive-by. The Alaska actually took some pretty good health from me, and because I had put myself in a crossfire between the Alaska and the Montana, but I was able to survive the engagement against both of those ships. I earned my Kraken Unleashed, and now our team has a very solid lead, and we also have a significant ship advantage. So this game is pretty well wrapped up. Lyn gets a second solo cap. Like I said, I very graciously exited the cap so that Lyn could get the solo, and that's probably some consolation for letting me kill or take 3 kills from him. Lyn's going to drive down here and put some long-range fire on the opposing Georgia as we wrap things up here. But what's going to get this Georgia is actually going to be our Kiev, who is going to make a torpedo run on the Georgia and finish him off, and we win the game. So we're just going to wind down here as we see the Kiev make his brave run on the Georgia. Georgia actually, I think, gets a pretty good hit on the Kiev, but not enough to finish him off, and the Kiev is going to be able to get his torps away and finish off the Georgia. So I hope you've enjoyed this replay. I just wanted to kind of give you Lyn's perspective of the game. He did, like I said, he did do a terrific job for the team. There you can see that Kiev just took a bad hit from the Georgia, but it's simply too late, and the torpedoes are going to come in and take out the Georgia. So I'll leave you to see the end screen results. Two solo caps, a kill, 11 cap defenses, 98,000 in damage. Comes in second. Really would like to have seen how the Kiev did, because he came in top XP for the team, and he also, like I said, did a very good job for our team. So hope you enjoyed the replay and the commentary. Please do leave your comments below, and as always, we hope to see you out there, and we wish you happy sailing.